8:37. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 W10. People having fun on the Super Text line with a number of different things. We're talking about how I invented the word jackhole, and but I called it a phrase. And so Waylon says, Dan, jackhole is a word, not a phrase.
However, Waylon...
Have a nice day, Dan.
Yeah, Waylon also spells jack and hole in two separate words.
He does. He does do that.
Which means it's not a word, it's two words.
Boom. Look at you.
Checkmate. Sorry, Waylon.
Are you standing up for the host for a change?
Oh, no. I was just standing up to Waylon.
I was about to say, that is like a sign of the apocalypse. So it's never a good sign.
All right, so let's do this Gayle King thing. Because I'm going to be honest with you. My level of give a crap on Gayle King and Katy, it's not there.
Yeah.
What has Gayle King even done in her life? Is it just being the
here's
morning
what
host?
she's only been. No. Her fame is that she was Oprah Winfrey's
best
friend.
You want to talk about riding? She's been riding Oprah's coattails for years.
Yeah, and she got that job on the morning show just because she was her friend, not because she had any talent.
Was she even a journalist? Like, what did she do before?
I think she did morning show something like in L.A. before going national.
Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, so now Gayle King, 70 years old, and she and Katy Perry and 5 others, they go up in space. Now, I didn't really talk about this because, I mean, honestly, it's not a big deal. I mean, you get in, you strap yourself in, and up you go. So they're trying to make a big deal out of the fact that Gayle King is 70 and also that she had a fear of flying. Well, you know what? A lot of people do. Again, to me, not a huge deal. But does anyone else find it funny that people are calling Gayle King and Katy Perry and these others astronauts? Because some people do, and this is a part of an interview that she gave, Gayle King.
Gayle King, you are officially an astronaut. How do you feel?
I still can't accept that word.
Nobody else is accepting that word either. I thought actually that was pretty funny.
We were in agreement.
Yeah.
Gayle King, you are officially an astronaut. How do you feel?
I still can't accept that word.
All right, so that was in an interview that she gave right after she got off the capsule. And so she goes on and she said,
I'm so proud of me right now. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
She's so proud of me right now. Okay.
It's just so weird.
So I'm watching this interview this morning, and because this story is, I think, a day or two old, right? Because, again, literally, I don't care. But they're trying to make them into some sort of heroes, and literally she is trying to call herself an astronaut.
I can't even believe what I saw. When somebody calls this a ride, this was not a ride. What happened to us was not a ride. This was a bona fide friggin' flight. And our instructor, we were so well prepared. So every noise we heard, we knew. But the flight instructor said that I am her best success story. Why? Because she's never had somebody go through the course who's terrified of flying.
Okay. So you got into a big flying piece of $1 billion metal, right? You went up in the air. Now, don't get me wrong. That's really cool. And they got to, like, float around and stuff. All right, that's cool. But it's not an accomplishment. I mean, is it? Am I wrong on this, Joan? Is this an accomplishment?
It's, you know what it is a reflection of? That Gayle King has enough money to help her get onto an 11-minute roller coaster ride in space. Yeah. Not even space. It wasn't space. It was to the edge of space.
I was going to say, and I'm glad you said that, because they're trying to say that she went into space.
No. No.
It's like if you're going to Nashville, but you make it to, like,
Antioch,
the western part of Mount Juliet, that
Green
doesn't
Hills.
mean that you are actually in Nashville, right?
Right.
It's the same kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yes.
But the other thing about this is that not only is she trying to call herself an astronaut, but then she starts in some of these subsequent interviews, she is lecturing the rest of us here on Earth that she now has this perspective that we all need to do better.
To me, it's such a reminder about how we need to do better, be better.
What?
Do better, be better human beings.
And what do you mean by that?
Processing.
Just all of it?
Well, it's so nasty and so vitriolic nowadays. And I mean, if everybody could experience that peace that we had up there and the kindness and what it takes to do what we did.
So she went to space. So she wants us to do better and be better. How about if you mind your own business? We're doing just fine out here. She's the one that was able to use her money and her connections to go fly up into almost space.
My frozen pizza is in the oven longer than she was in space.
Good point.
It takes 18 minutes to cook my pizza. She was there for less than 12.
Touche.
Yes.
So
Sorry,
they need to like calm down. Just stop it. Okay. They're being a little dramatic, I would say.
And prideful.
So number one, ego. So number one, do better, be better. All right. I would say be sure and tell that to the people on the left who can justify assassinations and are holding up villains as heroes, right? So if that is your advice to do better and be better, then why don't you tell that to Gayle, your political party that you belong to? That's number one. Number two, you're not an astronaut. Now, I don't know really literally anything about astronauts, but here's what I do know. Astronauts go through years of training, very difficult training. You have to go through obviously years of college, wilderness survival training, water survival training, robotics training, procedure training, rehabilitations process and training, and they need to learn how to do all of those experiments that they do when they're up in space.
Aero engineering. I mean, honestly. What are you, Gayle? You talk for a living like me, like Dan.
Well, I try. I try.
Yeah.
But Gayle King says I need to do better and be better. That I would agree with on my performance as a talk show host. Anyway, it does feel like she's trying to put herself on the Butch Wilmore, Suni Williams category, and she's really not. She went up in the air, and sorry, Gayle, but it was a ride. You can call it a flight if you want, but you're not an astronaut. But here's more of what she has been saying in subsequent interviews.
Eleanor Roosevelt once said, courage is doing something that scares you, but you do it anyway. And I stepped out of my comfort zone in a way that I never thought was possible for me. Mm-hmm. And now that I've done it, I really do feel I can take on anything. Anything.
You're a passenger on a flight, lady.
There's somebody in the background going, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it just holds them up. It just makes them continue to say such lofty things about themselves.
Well, it is. As I said, you need to calm down.
I'm so proud of me right now.
So, of course, now, as you can imagine, the attacks began. So we're saying what we're saying. It's almost like half the nation, right, conservatives, half the nation, and I bet you a lot of independents and even some moderate Democrats have the opinion of this lady.
A group of rich women who went into space. Wow. Mark that under who gives a shit. These celebrities who are so disconnected from reality, I just find unbelievably annoying. And then I happened to see Katy Perry when she got off the spaceship thing, and she said, I feel so connected to love. And I thought, did you sit down and think, what is the most insufferable thing I can say? You do realize that the vast majority of people just trying to get by, all right? You're floating around in space for 11 minutes. Almost everyone else is just trying to figure out how to pay bills.
Yeah, and let's just call it almost space. I think we call it almost space.
Yeah.
And somebody said, I don't know if it was on the super text line or what, but they made this sort of comparison where just because you fly on a plane doesn't make you a pilot. It's the same thing.
Right.
And so they got to float around, cool. But now she's, really proud of herself. We all have more important things to do. But this was her comment to the critics. And this is insanity. Listen to this.
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. We duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day.
You are not Alan Shepard.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you see how I'm going to tell you.
Oh, my goodness.
Insufferable. Absolutely insufferable.
Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. I mean, honestly, she's the epitome of that.
Well, and the funny thing is, she's like, nobody tells the male astronauts, like she's, again, when she made that statement, it's like she is calling herself an astronaut. But I will also tell you that all of the males that she's referring to were actual astronauts.
And did the training and the studying.
And all the stuff that I just mentioned moments ago.
There's also dozens of female astronauts that have actually went to space and been on, like, again, we talked about the one before, but like there's been plenty before.
Yeah.
In the dozen decades, there's been women astronauts.
Christy McAuliffe, that was the teacher.
Yes.
She went through the training.
Yeah.
Yes.
She went through a crap ton of training.
Great point.
Yeah, so she's got to she's just got to, man.
Is it ego or just being just narcissistic?
All of the above.
Yeah.
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day, pretty much. No one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did. And the machine that we were on, and what it took for the people to get that machine up and running, to get us up and get us back down safely.
So there you go, Gayle King.
She said it wasn't joyful. They were laughing in zero gravity. All this.
They were singing. Katy Perry was singing.
Yeah, it's like it was just you spent $150,000 on a fun 11-minute ride. Congratulations, it is a ride. Deal with it.
So what does Wikipedia say about Gayle King?
I saw this and I was telling you off air, like you got to listen to this. So basically, it's like she wrote it herself.
Okay.
So it starts with like Gayle King is an American television personality, author, and broadcast journalist for CBS News, co-hosting the flagship morning program, CBS Mornings. And before that, its predecessor, CBS This Morning. She is also an editor-at-large for the Oprah magazine. This is the best part. King was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people of 2019. 100 most influential people. They couldn't find... what does she do?
She's black. Well, is she gay?
No, she's
married
not
with children.
Well, no, she got divorced, but she was married to a man.
Okay, fair enough. I got her mixed up with somebody else. Still doesn't make her. I mean, listen, whatever. If they feel, if Time Magazine feels like she is influential or whatever, that's fine. But here's the thing: is that people are responding to her claims that she's an astronaut, and now she makes it worse by comparing herself to Alan Shepard?
Yes, seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. We're talking about that East Tennessee pastor.
Yeah.
So the story of that shootout, I don't know if it was in your newscast or not, but in reading it, he was being kept at a safe house. And where was this?
South Africa.
South Africa. So East Tennessee pastor goes to South Africa, does what pastors do in South Africa. He ends up getting kidnapped. So they rescued him. I don't know who rescued him. Was it
the police?
The local
South African police force.
Okay,
yeah.
So our government worked with their government. He was rescued. He was sitting in a car, and they were going to transport him. And this massive shootout happens, and they end up shooting. I don't know if they were killed, but they shot 3 of his abductors.
And they were all killed.
They were all killed. He was not wounded.
He was the only one in that car who survived.
Daily Mail even said miraculous,
absolutely.
He wasn't even hit.
Yep.
Well, he's a pastor. It's an act of God.
Absolutely.
Is what it is.
Yep.
So there you go. Amazing story.
Yep,
Amazing
it is.
Story.
It is.
All right. Very good. People are asking, and I'll do more of this story at 8:35 when Chris is here. But yesterday, just very quickly, we were talking about my text accident.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the recap.
I hope. Okay, so I have to kind of redo it real quick. I accidentally texted somebody. Multiple text threads are going on at once, and Amy was ignoring something that I'd accomplished, and so she said I was more annoying than Bandit. And so I thought I was texting Amy. If you didn't hear the story, I thought I was texting Amy, but I was actually texting a guy that is going to make a countertop for me, who I've never met before. And so what I texted accidentally to him was, I like to be petted.
This is the best. It's the best Drext ever.
So
Makes me so happy.
A drunk text.
Drunk text.
But you weren't even drunk.
No, but in my defense, I was tired. And I was texting Chris Hand. I was texting Amy. I had another one going, and I'm texting this guy who is making a cabinet top.
You would have been better off texting that to Chris instead of the random guy.
So I responded. I don't have it in front of me, but I responded, OMG, that was meant for my wife, LOL. And the only thing that he could think of texting back was, wow, period, LOL, period. So I go there. I'd never met him before. And Amy and I thought it was hilarious. And Amy and I laughed for like 10 minutes. So I finally meet this guy yesterday after the show. And the question was, Chris asked the question, did he know who you are? Who I am, whatever. No, he did not know that I was a radio host.
Close one.
And so, but I walked in and I kind of told him what happened and it was meant for my wife, whatever. And so he says that they tried to get one of the workers in there to come up and pet me.
Yes.
And I show up and I don't know whether or not I should be relieved or insulted, but nobody wanted to pet me.
Hey, Dan.
I showed up and nobody wanted to pet me. Whatever.
Just one pat on the head. Just, hey, Dan.
Just something.
But
no, I
just
show up
knowing that they did that is proof that they were all laughing about it.
They thought it was
for
funny
hours.
as all
yes.
get out. So. All right, 5:54, Nashville's Morning News on WTN, and Joan Jones is here with the news at 6.
So we'll tell you what newly revealed video says about the death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. Wow, what a story this has become. That's coming up here at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.